a pain in the bum. The lift doors opened onto the 44th floor. Just along the corridor were the huge swing doors to the children's ward. "How are we going to stick this into Matron's bum?" asked the boy. He was holding the syringe full of the sleeping serum as he wheeled the trolley along as quietly as possible. "She's going to be watching everything like a hawk."
"We must use surprise, young Mr. Thomas, sir,"
replied the porter. The man poked his head out from under the dirty sheet on the trolley.
"Matron cannot see us coming, or we are busted."
"We have the trolley. That could give us some speed," said Tom, thinking out loud.
"Yes, of course. In an ideal world, we need Matron facing away from us, bending over."
Tom brought the trolley to a stop. They were now just a few paces away from the doors. "I've got an idea," said the boy excitedly. "Have you still got Professor Pigeon in your pocket?"
"Yes, of course.
replied the porter.
She was coming on the adventure with me."
"Good. Then we can let her loose in the children's ward. The bird is bound to scuttle all around, and Matron is sure to be distracted. You heard her say how much she hated pigeons."
"It's brilliant, sir. Quite brilliant."
The pair went down onto their hands and knees and crawled across the corridor that led onto the children's ward. Tom pushed one of the tall swing doors open a little and held it ajar. Looking out of the window to the glow of Big Ben's clock face, he saw it was now just minutes to midnight. The boy peeped through the gap between the doors. All the lights in the ward were off, and the children were sleeping in their beds. Tom could see the silhouettes of George, Amber, and Robin. However, he couldn't make out Sally's bed, as it was in the far corner of the ward. Some light spilled from Matron's office, where she sat bolt upright, her eyes scanning the ward for any signs of movement. The porter reached into his pocket and brought out his uni-winged pet. Tom then pushed the door slightly more ajar, so the bird could scuttle through. However, Professor Pigeon did not want to move. Perhaps the bird did not want to be separated from her master. Whatever the reason, the creature was determined to stay put. So the porter picked up his pet and sat her down just inside the ward. But instead of scuttling off, the faithful bird just lingered by the doors, pecking at the floor.
"Go, Professor Pigeon! Go! Fly like the wind!"
urged the man. Again, the bird did nothing. This was clearly not an animal that was going to win a TV talent competition any time soon. That was a shame, as what with only having one wing, Professor Pigeon had a great backstory.
"Shoo! Shoo!"
encouraged the porter, but still the bird did absolutely nothing. So the porter had no choice but to squeeze through the gap in the doors on his hands and knees. From there, he ushered his bird further into the room, towards Matron's office at the end. Out of the silence came a booming voice.
"Who goes there?"
It was Matron. She had seen the porter. The plan was unravelling faster than a falling ball of string. Tom had to think fast. Through the gap in the doors, he could see the lady rushing out of her office, so he pushed the trolley back down the corridor. Then he ran alongside it and jumped on, syringe in hand. The trolley smashed through the swing doors. Ahead, Tom could see the perfectly round bottom of Matron. She was bent over, trying to pull the porter up from the floor.
"It's you, porter. Now get up, you revolting man. I want you out of my ward this instant. Do you hear me? This instant."
From behind, her head appeared. She must have heard the whir of the wheels on the trolley.
"Thomas?"
she cried. But it was too late. The needle of the syringe stabbed into her bottom.
"Ouch!"
She cried in pain. As Tom pushed the top of the syringe, the sleeping serum surged in. Matron's body arched up. Then, the lady was immediately fast asleep on the floor, snoring loudly. Bong. Amber, George and Robin were out of their beds now, and peering down at their enemies sprawled out on the floor. The normally immaculate matron looked decidedly undignified. Her arms and legs were splayed like a starfish, and a pool of drool was leaking from her mouth. "Okay, Midnight Gang, it's time to go to work," said Tom. "Where's Sally? Sally?" Amber fell silent as Tom looked over to Sally's bed. It was empty. Tom looked to the other children for an explanation. Their sad faces told a story. "What?" asked the boy. "Where's Sally?"
While you went missing, Tom,
began Amber.
poor Sally took a turn for the worse.
"Oh, no," said Tom. In all the excitement about the plan, he had forgotten how ill the little girl was. "So she was taken down to the isolation ward," added Robin. "But what about her dream?" pleaded Tom. The children all shook their heads.
Not tonight, Tom.
Replied Amber.
We can't.
Sorry, Tom,
said George, resting a hand on his friend's shoulder.
At least we tried,
muttered the porter.
but I am afraid it's all over.
There was silence in the children's ward. Big Ben began to chime midnight. The gang all listened and bowed their heads. Time was running out. Fast.
Pray...
Bong. This moment was slipping away from them. Bong. They had to do something. Bong. For Sally. Bong. The little girl deserved to have her dream come true. Bong. More than any of them. Bong. There had to be a way. Bong. Just as the final chime ended, Tom announced, "You are wrong."